No scientist denies, no logical person denies, unless you don't know what it means.
From the thing you're telling me,
Yeah.
I believe that there's you're explaining it wrong actually, because I'm saying
Look up the definition of consciousness if you don't believe me. Look it up.
Yeah, Google it.
That's the best way to learn, you know.
Look at the definition.
If you don't believe me, go and learn it from somebody
What
else.
history means.
Okay?
That's yours. That's yours.
Come on, what, man?
Why can you go? No.
It's okay, it's okay. We know it's hurt.
also my English level is not like that.
Look up consciousnness.
Yeah.
By the way, the reason it exists,
Because I want to. I want to say something.
So first thing that
What's the
appears.
problem?
yeah. Bro, just ignore him. That's fine. Just ignore him.
That's pretty good.
So what is consciousness?
Yeah, what does it say?
Scientists are beginning to unravel a mystery that has long vexed philosophers.
Where are you looking?
Consciousness is everything you experience.
Yes.
So if I experience it,
Isn't that what I told you at the very beginning? The definition that if you are aware of your
saying that there's a proof I experience it. So that's what I can say. If they say it's this, then yeah. Like,
Okay, let's make it easier for you.
know what I mean?
There's a difference between something which we call empirical evidence, yes, where you have objective proof evidence, and subjective. So what you experience, can somebody else experience?
Yeah.
How? What you experience, can somebody else experience? The same way?
The same way.
Yes, no. So that's
But
called...
I don't know exactly.
No,
Maybe
but
yes.
that's called subjective. For example, I give you a very good example, which I normally use in this kind of scenarios. Imagine you and your friend are in a room.
Yeah.
Yes? Your friend feels that the temperature is a bit cold.
Yeah.
Yes? You feel it's warm enough for you. Yes? You both are in the same room. But you both experience the temperature
But it's
in a
not
different
about
way.
Consciousness about
No, hear me out.
physical.
If it wasn't consciousness, you wouldn't feel the temperature, trust me.
What?
If you were not
Yeah,
conscious,
feel the temperature. We're both doing it. We're feeling the temperature.
exactly. But that is called subjective experience. The reason
The temperature itself, like the cold or the warm, is another thing. But we're both.
why are you experiencing different temperatures in the same room?
Because we have different bodies, different chemic stuff going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like.
It's called subjective experience. So your experience is subject to you, and her experience is subject to her.
Because.
Hear me out. Actually, you're right. Your physiology is different to hers. It might be one of the reasons. Might be many other factors as well. But how can we determine objectively the temperature of the room? Objectively, not subjectively. So because you both are in the same room, you both have different experience depending on your makeup or some other factor.
But I think this.
How can we as a human
Yeah.
Empirically.
get the exact temperature of the room?
With science. Like
Yes.
With a
Thermometer.
thermometer.
Is a thermometer
Exactly.
conscious?
A thermometer gives us an objective measure of the room temperature. You know, that is the difference. Wait, I wanted to show you the difference between subjective and objective evidence. So we have evidence here. We use a tool called the thermometer.
Yeah.
Yes? The thermometer is a tool. Remember this, to get a reading for the temperature, because that's what it's made for. Yes? We use a specific tool. However, the scientists do not have a tool to know your consciousness. For example, if you love do you have a pet?
The feeling.
Yeah, I do.
A cat or dog?
A dog.
A dog. Look, how would you know that you love your family more than your dog?
How would I know that I love my family more than my dog?
Yes.
How we know?
How would we know objectively? Because I know subjectively you probably know.
Yeah.
Inside you know whom you love more. Yes?
Yeah.
But is there such a tool like the thermometer to measure the temperature? Is there such a tool which can measure the love, which is an emotion, which is, like you said, you experience from your senses?
Yeah, no, you cannot like put it into anything. No.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So you cannot measure emotions.
To measure it. Yeah.
Fair enough. You cannot measure emotions, which are always subjective, yes, with a tool which the scientists can say, yes, now we have objective evidence of emotion. So your emotions cannot be measured by science.
Okay,
you know why? Do you know why?
I'm not saying I'm just saying that I believe in that emotion because that's what.
Oh, no. I never said you don't believe in love. Of course you do. You believe in love, you believe in hate, you believe in even whether you're feeling cold or hot. These things are emotions. These things enable you. You have your abilities and faculties which allow you to feel these things.
So you're just asking me in what I believe, and I'm just
No,
saying that I believe.
no. What I'm trying to show you is that there are places where science fails. There are limits to science. So the science cannot measure immaterial things. Science it's what do you say? It analyzes the material world. Yes, the naturalistic world that we call. It doesn't measure things like your emotions, which again emanate from your consciousness. Yes, so everything is linked. Your consciousness is your central CPU as in a computer. You know, the microchip, the main thing which allows you, and it's connected to your mind, obviously. So what I'm saying is that science has limitations. There are certain things science cannot measure. So if anybody comes and tells me, show me empirical evidence of God, you cannot even show empirical evidence of within your own self, let alone God. Yes? So what is within you? What does Allah say in the Quran? That He will show you signs beyond the horizon and within yourself. Yes? And this is the beauty. One of the things in the Quran, Allah has already told you that you cannot even see things which are within yourself and have empirical evidence for it, or allow science. Doesn't matter, with all the technology, they'll fail. Because you see, science was never meant to measure immaterial world. And we cannot deny the immaterial world because we believe in consciousness. So that is what I'm trying to tell you.
Therefore, I don't deny it.
You don't deny what?
The
God?
existence of God.
Alhamdulillah, say the Shahada. Okay.
Very nice.
So what I'm saying is that there are limits to science, and we need to acknowledge that. By the way, as a Muslim, we don't deny science. We know science explains things. However, it cannot explain certain things, like for example, the origin of the universe. It can speculate many things, how it originated, but it can never tell you clearly with empirical evidence how the universe came into being.
That's what you need a leap of
Yes,
faith for.
and if you want to call it faith, that's fine. But if you want to believe that it came from nothing, that is also unscientific and wrong.
Then my question, for example, is like, okay, so then why do you believe? Because you read something? Because your parents told you? Because your environment? Maybe if you were born where I was born, you would not be a Muslim.
Where were you born?
In Spain.
There are lots of Muslims in Spain. Don't worry. There are lots of Muslims in Spain, so your analogy is completely wrong. But anyway, you might have a point there that there is obviously, if you're born in a Muslim family, you're most likely to be a Muslim. And if you're,
I was no Muslim, I am Muslim.
Alhamdulillah. Where are you from, sister?
As well, yeah.
Northern Ireland.
From Northern Ireland. MashaAllah, you see?
Yeah.
So let's not use, the thing is,
But,
we as, by the way,
see, like a lot
today,
of
by the way, today we live in a global village. They say, you know, everything is connected today. So people, maybe all, you see these videos here, they will go far and wide. So people who are not at Speaker's Corner, earlier she didn't want to be. Anna, it's up to you. Now they know you. All right, she likes to be famous. That's fine. We'll make her famous.
Yes.
Make dua for Anna that Allah gives her hidayah, inshallah.
Money, it's very important for living.
If you want money, pray to the Creator. You never know where it comes from. So,
Pay to the person
by the way, your
who said
question is
it comes
good. Like,
from.
why do you believe it? Is it because I was born in a Muslim family? Maybe that's the reason. But I also use my own faculties that God has given me to reason and come to the conclusion that all this, the universe did not create itself. It did not come from nothing. So what is the other
You
alternative?
say that God
That the
gave
universe
them
always
to
existed,
you.
maybe.
There's no scientific evidence for that.
You said
Go on. This guy is a funny guy, honestly. Yeah?
I am a funny guy.
You are, yeah.
Very funny.
You need sabr.
But anyway, your
Sabr
question was good. Why do you believe it? The question is this:
Sabr.
where did the universe come from, according to your understanding? Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Have you thought about it? Okay, let's.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Okay.
And I don't have
Yeah.
any clue because it's like I think okay, the universe, right? And then after the universe, like what? I imagine like black, and then after the black, like black and black and black, and this black where
You going to
why do we
blackout?
call it black even? Like is it black?
All right. That
Right.
when you say black, you probably mean nothing, right?
Yeah, like but this nothing is like in something. So actually,
Well, nothing can't be
that's
something.
You know.
Nothing and something are the two opposites.
And who created God? Like,
We'll come to that, no problem. But right now we are not talking about God. We are just talking about the universe.
Okay.
Did the universe come from nothing? Is that even a possibility?
but this nothing is to call it nothing. It's into something.
No. Nothing and something are two opposites.
Then
It's not the
what
same.
is nothing?
Nothing is the absence of everything. Something is at least that.
The absence of everything
Yes.
is something already.
No.
It's nothing.
No.
Which is
Zero.
something.
Nothing, by the way.
The basic
Zero.
law of transformation of matter.
By the way,
Nothing is created,
nothing-
nothing is destroyed,
She's got a mind herself.
everything is
Let her speak.
transformed.
Yeah, that's
but
in-
he won't let you do that.
That's in a
He
close.
try to-
If you knew that.
The environment. That's in
If Paulo knew the first law of thermodynamics, it says in a closed system. It doesn't say before the universe existed.
Go on.
So please don't tell me I don't know.
Go on.
Okay, so the question, by the way, I'm talking to her. You seem like a troll
Yeah, but
here.
you're talking
I don't
about
like to
me.
talk to troll because you interjected.
talking about me.
You
You're
interjected.
bringing me to the
You
conversation.
brought me in the
No,
conversation
I
as
don't
well.
wanna talk to you.
Anyway, you seem like a troll, so I'll ignore you.
Do
I
I?
think Sabur can handle you better.
Oh,
Yeah, you educate.
You
Probably
can't handle
another
anyone,
guy
to be
had
fair.
By the way, he schooled you nicely last
Some
time.
guy.
Sure.
Some
Okay,
guy.
so nothing. Do you think nothing even exists, for example?
More
Sorry?
respectful, to be
Could
honest.
nothing even be
You could learn.
By the way, you know what? Respect.
Maybe you could learn.
Paulo, I know you're stammering now, but respect is not demanded, it's earned. Yes.
Stammering.
Yes,
From
stammering.
You, from the likes of you. Hashim.
Yes.
I think you got something.
But don't
very
expect
good.
respect if you can't give it. Respect
Yeah.
is always
I-
earned, never
also,
demanded.
When he spoke respectfully, without
think
using
God
the kind of.
Why are you here, by the way, if you don't think I'm respectful
I'm
to you?
here to speak to you.
No, I don't want
and
to
to
speak.
listen what you have.
If you're going to, if you're going to
wait.
hackle,
You brought me to the conversation.
did
You
I?
mentioned
Did I bring him to
just about-
conversation?
You're disrupting the
Okay. Anyway,
Pointing the finger
I
at-
might as well speak to Anna than you. If I haven't made that clear, I'm making it clear now. All right. So once again, Anna, nothing does not exist. It's just a concept for us to communicate. The difference between something and nothing. For example, the term zero, the number zero, it could denote nothing.
Yeah, but when we are talking about nothing,
Absolute zero. Yeah.
what do you have in mind? Like what is?
It's a concept. It's a concept.
exists.
I don't need to visualize nothing. To me, visualizing nothing means I'm actually looking at something.
He's got
See what I
in
mean?
his pocket. What are you imagining?
Nothing is the absence of
says he's got nothing in
everything.
his pocket.
Everything that you can imagine. Guys, come on.
Don't
Let's-
But but do we even know? Like, is it possible?
No, nothing is a concept for us to communicate. It's a concept. For example, like, say for example, another example I can give you is infinity. Infinity is not a number. It is a concept of something that is unending. See what I mean? And zero is similarly a concept which means nothing.
The opposite.
Which means absolutely nothing. Which means absence of everything that you can imagine, everything that exists.
But
That's all it is.
so infinite is something that we actually didn't reach the end.
We will never reach. Others you will be called infinite.
Okay, but then it's not. It might not be infinite, but we call it infinite.
No, it's a concept. It's an abstract. For example, the numbers that you use. Yes, you can
1, 2,
visualize
3,
them.
4, 5.
You can visualize them. They are something, but they call abstract. So there's a difference between nothing, abstract, and infinite.
Sorry, carry on with the universe.
Yeah. So going back. So because nothing doesn't exist, even we cannot say. And this is speaking logically, philosophically, even scientifically, because nothing doesn't exist, we cannot say that nothing brought about something like the universe.
Say that again. Sorry.
Nothing, because it doesn't even exist,
Yeah.
we can conclude that it cannot bring about something.
It cannot bring about
Something. Nothing cannot generate or give rise to something, because it doesn't even exist. Are you with me?
So nothing can bring.
Okay, let me rephrase that. If something doesn't exist, if something doesn't even exist,
I know it.
Yeah.
can it bring into existence something, anything? Say this bottle, for example. By the way, the bottle's been quite handy today. Can use it for lots of examples.
Do you want some water?
I'm fine, thank you very much. So what I'm saying is that this is something, right? It's a bottle.
Yeah.
Can this come from something that doesn't even exist?
No.
Good. So imagine this was the universe. It cannot come from nothing.
From my point of like understanding.
Yes,
the
of course.
word.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it cannot come from nothing.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that we can actually say, yes, we can cross that out, that we know that nothing cannot bring about anything. Something, where there's a universe, where there's even one atom, it cannot bring about that. So what is the other possibility? The other possibility is that the universe came into existence from something.
From something, but then it's the same. Like, and this something.
Yes.
What is it coming from?
Very good question.
And then this something. What is it
Yes.
coming from?
So that's a very good question, and we need to explore that as well. So now we have something. This something needs to, in order for it to create the universe, it needs the ability to at least exist. It needs to exist first, and it has to be self-existent, and it has to be uncaused. Otherwise, we'll have a problem of infinite regress. Yeah? It's always troublemakers and trolls here. Let's ignore them. So yeah, let's get back to the discussion. So what I'm saying is that in order for this something to bring into existence anything, it at least has to be uncreated. You know why? Uncreated.
Uncreated.
Yes, that means it has to be self-existing.
It exists for always,
And it has to be eternal.
forever.
I'll tell you why. Because it is like the question you asked. If something created the universe, what created that something? Yes? And then who created that something? The one that brought into this something. So we'll have an infinite regress of some things. Yes? But these things, in order for it to come into existence even, it has to stop somewhere. It cannot be infinite. Others will have the infinite regression, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. It's a technical term. Jazak Allah Khair. I know. Okay, so what I'm saying is that infinite regress is something like, for example, I'll give you an analogy to understand it, to make it easier. For example, if you wanted to borrow a book from the library, and there was infinite number of people in front of you, will you ever get a book?
No.
You'll never get the book. Why? Because that queue will never end. It's infinite. So in order to get away from that, and we know that the universe exists, so we know that it came into existence, yes, and we know that it cannot create itself, because the universe is not something conscious like you and me, yes, and creating itself would be problematic as well. So in both cases, it cannot be from nothing, and it cannot be from itself. So what is the other alternative? It must have come from something, and we have to now, by necessity of being of contingency, yes, of the law of non-contingency. That means that something has to be not dependent on someone else for its existence.
That something has to.
Yeah. So we know that something has to be self-existent. It has to be not something which is.
But why it has to be self-existent?
The reason for that is because if somebody else brought it into existence, then we'll ask the question, who brought that? We'll have this infinite regress. And we know that infinite regress do not make things possible. Like the example of the book, you'll never get if there was infinite number of people. So we know that it has to end somewhere. Okay, so this creator, let's call it the creator, let's call it something, the intelligent designer. Yes, because maybe many people have this notion of not using the term God, because it probably has some other baggage for them in the understanding of what God is. So we know that this intelligent designer has to has brought the universe into existence, and for it to do that, it has to be first self-existent without depending on anyone else. Yes, it has to be non-contingent. It is a necessary attribute of that entity, of that intelligent designer, for it to be self-existent. Yes, and it has to have the ability to create, to bring the universe into existence. So it has to have all these abilities. Self-existing, it has to be uncreated, it has to be the first cause. That means the first, the first one to bring into existence something like the universe. And then it has to have the ability to create. And these are what we say the necessary conditions, attributes that this entity must have to bring the universe into existence. And that is what we term as God. You see, because we have ruled out the possibility of the universe coming from nothing, from the universe coming from itself, yes? And for the universe, the only other possibility, unless you can tell me, would be from someone or something. And to us, that something has to be defined as well. Because without it being existing by itself, or having the ability to create.
And then, for example, if God is like in everyone, right? Like you say God is in everyone or something?
No, we don't believe God is in everyone. We believe we all are created by God.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're explaining me all of this, and in my mind, how you're explaining it comes as a God is everything.
No, that's different.
Like God,
when you create, for example, when you create a table,
because you're
when you make a table, you're not the table.
Yeah,
you are just a creator of the table.
But then you're saying that if you're saying then that God created the universe.
Yes.
Yeah, but then it gets to the point that I'm saying then who created God?
Yeah. Do you remember
if God is part of everything, then it makes sense.
No. God is not in the creation, if that's what you're saying. We believe God is transcendent.
According to what you said,
Yeah.
it would make sense that you're describing a God that is everything.
No,
like,
no, no. That's
even
pantheism.
universe, us, like
Yeah.
everything.
That is
like
called
part of
pantheism.
God.
No. For example, you know the example I gave you about making a table? When you make a table, are you inside the table? Are you the table?
No, but you come from something as well.
Yeah, of course. From God created me as well, and you.
But then, who created God?
So the question.
How did, like, God appear like that? Or?
Yeah. By the way, God is not someone that you can think like the way we think about the creation, like you and me. We need a cause. He is the first cause.
He's the first cause.
Yes, we need a cause. That means we are dependent for our existence, whereas he is self-existent. In Arabic, we call it as-samad. That means he's self-sufficient, self-existing. He doesn't need anyone. He's independent. So he's absolutely independent and self-sufficient. I think there's a term called aseity in English. Aseity. A-S-E-I-T-Y. Now this is something we have to believe in order for us to understand logically and rationally how did the universe come. Because you see, the scientists cannot tell you about the origin of the universe.
We have to believe it, like, without any.
Well, that's the only logical explanation that you will come to for someone who thinks rationally.
Why is not mine, like my point of view?
Your point of view is I don't know.
My point of view.
Your point of view, Anna, we went through this at the beginning. You said I don't know.
No.
That's not
Like,
really
if
an
I
answer.
If I could, like, if
Yeah,
I,
give me another explanation. Go
If
on.
I would believe in a God, maybe.
Yeah.
I think what you told me, it makes very much sense. Like,
Alhamdulillah.
we are all part of something, you know. Like, and
No. Sorry.
something-
Please, you need to really understand that we don't believe God is part of the creation. We believe God is transcendent, but God is the one who brought all of this into
I
existence.
know, but then I keep having my question: where does he come from? Like, whatever he or
So you're asking again.
this is, or
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know,
asking who created God.
to him.
You're asking who created God. Am I right? Yes. So remember the terms I use: self-existent.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
So when you're self-existent,
Yeah.
it means you are the first cause who caused everything else. That means without you, nothing existed and nothing will exist, but you are self-existent. So by definition, for example, if I'm talking about an object, I need to define it. So by definition, God is self-existent, uncaused cause, uncreated, yes, independent, non-contingent, all these things. And he's a creator. Yes? For example, if you wanted to talk about a triangle, immediately what comes to your mind? A three-sided figure. Yes? So you know immediately what a triangle is, because we have defined triangle already, and this is common knowledge. So immediately that idea pops in your head. Similarly, as people who believe in God, we know God himself has defined what he is.
but then God gave this message to humans.
Yes, yes.
Through what? Like, did it
To
appear?
record-
Someone
Through the messengers, through prophets,
Yeah.
through humans.
Okay, through humans.
Yes.
But there are a lot of humans claiming a lot of things. How do you believe these humans and not the other humans?
Very good question, yeah. So you scrutinize, because the messengers that God sent, he sent them with a message. Our messenger, the last messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave us the Quran. The Quran is the last revelation, the last message from God Almighty through a messenger. Yes? So what we do is we look at, for example, many people claim that they have the book of God. Yes? So we scrutinize the book and we come to the conclusion whether it's true or false, whether it stands up to the scrutiny.
Here, I'm sorry, but I can't follow you, because if I want to follow this conversation, I would have, I need to read the Quran, for example.
Fair enough,
See
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, we don't expect you to know everything about Islam just by standing here for 50 minutes, or I don't know how long it's been. Okay, so have you read the Quran?
No.
Would you like to? If we give you a free copy?
I'm curious to read it, because
Yeah.
you know, I want to reach farther.
Yeah.
Like, my
Alhamdulillah.
conversation end up here.
Brother, can you get a copy of the Quran? Inshallah. So we can give you a free copy of the Quran.
My conversation ends here. So if
Fair-
I could have
fair enough.
read the Quran, maybe it would
Yeah.
have like ended a bit farther. I don't know.
Yes. So here's a free copy for you. Is a gift. Is in English. Is that okay for you?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. All right.
And this is like everything.
That's the, what do you say, the English translation of the Quran, and it explains to you many things what God wants of you, because He expects certain things from you. We believe in life after death as well, by the way. So we know that this life for us is a test. So we have many ups and downs in our life, and we have to go through that test with patience, with without actually disobeying God. Yes, so we cannot just because life is difficult, so you go and steal or something. So we try to bear it with patience, yes, without doing something which is forbidden for us. So there are things which we call halal, which is permissible, and things which are forbidden, and both of this are actually in the Quran. So we know that Allah gave us a guidance, and this guidance is something for us to be better human beings and to be better, what do you say, servants of God, or someone that we someone who is responsible for everything that we have, you know, the Almighty God. And you come to the conclusion of this understanding about God from that guidance. So inshallah, I mean, like I said, keep an open mind, which I believe you do have. So, and look into the Quran, and then come to the conclusion whether God exists or not, or whether this is the right religion to follow. I know it cannot be done overnight. So ask people in your community who might be Muslims, or if you have friends, and ask other people. And that way you'll make sure you ask a Muslim, because there are many people who might give you wrong information. So if I want to learn about say for example Spain, I would rather ask a Spanish person than ask someone who doesn't live there. You see what I mean? To get a better understanding of the culture and the food and the people over there and the place as well.
Like, of course, like if I ask a Muslim, he cannot tell me anything else rather than.
Yeah, you might consider that as bias, but the important thing is that at least he will point you to the direction of what the Muslims believe. You see what I mean? So you can get second opinion, third opinion, doesn't matter. We don't say no. In fact, Allah tells us in the Quran that this is, He tells you to ponder on things here.
If I remember well, I think Allah says that the things are in you. Like you would, like the first time when you do something, you know what you should do or not.
Very good, actually. Yeah,
So,
it's called the fitrah. So it's your natural disposition which tells you when you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So you do it the first time, your heart will tell you yes, or
So I also
your mind will tell you that's wrong.
In like this nature of human of being good himself. Like for example me.
Yeah.
Like I do. I mean, you could maybe say that I follow a religion, no? Because I'm like very good and I like follow all the rules apparently of like good rules that God says, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't learn them from him, So
I think you're talking about morality, yeah? Whether we have good morals or bad morals.
but I think it's born on me.
Yeah, that's why we call it the fitrah. So the fitrah is something which is innate to every human being. So every person is born with that, with the fitrah. So you already have this natural disposition to recognize good and bad to an extent, yeah, not everything. For example, everyone, whether you're an atheist, agnostic, you believe in God,
Why not everything?
because morality is something which is acquired. You're not born with, not everything. So for example, if I told you, there are many people in this world who believe that abortion is okay, nothing wrong with it. Yes, you as a woman, you might have different perspective. Yes, this lady here might have a different perspective because she's a Muslim. You as a non-Muslim will have a different perspective. So what I'm saying is that you have a subjective opinion of what is good and bad. That means your understanding will be different based on your environment, based on the people that you are acquainted with, based on the family even, based on your friends and so on. So there are many factors which influence your thought. Yes, but what we believe in the Quran is about objective morality. That means only God can tell you what is ultimately good or bad for you. Yes, and He doesn't say that everything is bad, otherwise we can't lead our life. But there are certain things that Allah forbids you. For example, He forbids alcohol, He forbids gambling, He forbids fornication, adultery, all these things which are actually the evil things in the society that we know of.
But for example, for me, like having been, for example, having a drink like alcohol, it makes me see the other people. I understand what they're passing through. For example, like I know this experience, so it's not that
So are you telling me that unless you drink poison, you won't know that poison is bad for you? That's a very...
I mean that I'm saying that I don't need a book to
know what's good and bad?
I thought that, but I was wrong.
You do actually. You know why? Because I told you there's a difference between subjective morality, which everyone has their own opinion. So maybe yesterday, they thought that homosexuality was completely wrong. It was punishable by law in this country, by the way. Yes, less than 70 years ago, maybe. Yes, but today is perfectly okay. So what has changed is like they have changed what they considered as immoral. Now it's moral for them, or it's perfectly good. But you see, when you look at things in the scripture, it has been defined for you what is good and what is bad. What is forbidden and what is permissible by someone of a higher authority.
Let's say that we're born in a place where we don't have access to, for example, the Quran. Right?
Yeah.
So how would we do we believe in God? Do we know about Him? Because if He is responsible of people praying for Him and all of this.
No, that's a very good question actually. So when you don't have access to Islam or somebody telling you about Islam, then what the scholars say is that it is up to him and Allah and God on the day of judgment. God will judge him. So we cannot judge anyone. In fact, even now I cannot judge you or anybody else as to whether what will happen to you before you die. You might become a Muslim or you might not, Same thing with me or somebody else. So what we count is how the end is rather than how we are now. And for the people for whom Islam has not come or the Quran has not come to them, then Allah will judge them, We cannot judge them. But at least today we live in an age of information. Yes? And ignorance is a choice today. You see what I mean? So if you don't want to know, that is your choice. You can just switch off all the information from every angle and then you say, I don't know anything.
The problem is that the only evidence we have now is just a book with letters that humans produce.
Sorry, evidence for what?
For what?
No, I'm not saying, I just gave you the evidence of the creation of the universe. I did not use the Quran in that, you see? The evidence I gave you was from your perspective and from your rationality to come to a conclusion that the universe did not just pop out of nothing, out of nowhere. There has to be some agent to bring it into existence. And that agent has to be self-sufficient, uncreated, first cause, uncaused, and has to have certain attributes like ability to create and so on. So the reason we came to that conclusion is because there's no other rational explanation or possibility.
Yeah, but the fact that there's that I can't think about any other rational explanation, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't exist, Well,
either that, or you can just go through all your life saying I don't know. You see what I mean? You have to come to a certain conclusion.
That's the point.
For you have to come to a certain conclusion to come to a point where you say, yes, this is making logical sense to me. This is the only rational possibility.
That's what I'm saying, that I don't think that there's specific logic in this kind of argument per se. It doesn't, I can't think about another thing because I'm not creative enough, for example.
Even the scientists who are very creative, who have a lot of information, a lot of intellect in their domain, even they cannot know how the universe originated.
But then someone or we appear to have this other option, there's something creating this. So this is
bring it on then, come on.
This is another option.
The philosophers, the scientists,
I know your point, but
all the scholars, they have actually thought about this a lot. In fact, they have thought about the purpose of their life as well, and they don't have an answer to that even. Forget about what's beyond the cosmos.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
The thing is, I don't have an answer. That's what I'm saying. That's what I go.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you think you have peace of mind when you say I don't know about?
A valid answer, a proper answer that I would say I give my life for this answer because I know it for sure.
No, it's not. It's not. As a human, we are curious, yes, and we want answers. And as humans, when we don't have answer to certain things, then we are in a state where we don't have, peace of mind. You see what I mean?
Maybe if I finish reading this book, I would think that everything here is very wise and that everything makes sense. But still, if you tell me, do you assure, 100% are you, do you really believe that there is a God? I would say no. I can't say.
Okay, then you have to either answer the question and be at peace with that where did the universe come from? If you keep saying I don't know, I don't think that's an answer. It's like because I don't know is not an answer. It means you are unaware. You don't know.
Exactly.
But that's not an answer.
It's an answer.
Seriously? So if I
I don't know.
okay,
It means
imagine there is a person and he says to every question that is asked to him, I don't know. Do you think that person is going to be satisfied with his life?
I don't know.
I'll give an example of an exam. You've got 10 questions in an exam,
Yeah.
and there are specific answers already known by the examiner. And you write, I don't know, I don't know, I don't
can't
know.
hear you.
Yeah, come closer. It's all right. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum, Mansoor. You're right.
If you have an exam
Yeah.
and the examiner has set 10 questions,
Yeah.
yeah, the examiner
Yeah.
who set the questions knows the answers to those questions. That's how the examiner is
Yeah,
testing
but
you.
you're putting a human like.
Yes, of course, human.
It's an analogy. It's
Giving you an illustration to understand what I mean by I don't know. And then you write,
Yeah.
I don't know to all the answers.
Yeah. But the thing is that he knows these answers apparently, but like you maybe
God knows.
you maybe don't know.
Yeah.
God knows the
So when
answer.
we say I don't know,
That's why the answers are in there.
the concept about I don't know,
Yeah.
if I write I don't know as an answer,
Yeah.
out of 10 marks, how much am I going to get?
But what? Yeah, but I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. It's an
No,
answer.
how much marks
right?
am I going to get out of 10?
He was telling me that it's not an answer. It is an answer. I don't
No,
know.
I don't know, you get 0 marks.
I don't know.
When you
is
write
not
in
an
your paper,
answer.
I don't know, you get
No,
0
but
marks.
Then it means that you're telling me that I will like end up my life with a 0.
No. What I'm saying, Anna, is that if you say I don't know, no, if you have a question paper like Mansoor said,
so
do you think your
burning
teacher?
in hell.
No, trust me. Do you think your teacher will give you any marks when you write I don't know?
that
Your teacher, will they give you even 1 mark?
I don't know.
You have never sat an exam.
What?
Have you been
Have
through
you
an
ever
exam?
done an exam in your life? Of course, many exams.
I did, yeah.
It may be that you have set
But
exams
who
yourself.
knows if a teacher at some point in my life I will do an exam. I will put I don't know and
Imagine you're the teacher. Anna, imagine you're the teacher and your student, you know the answers to every question that you have said in the paper.
Yeah.
And your student writes I don't know. Will you, as a person who is just, sorry, as a teacher, because you know the answers. No, remember I gave you the scenario already. You said the question. Yeah, go on.
Can
Yeah.
I say something?
yeah.
I kind of disagree to say I don't know is not an answer. I don't know is an answer, but it is a beginning of something. Meaning that us as a human being, if you don't know something, yeah, then we generally wanted to know, at least to know what's the answer. For example, yeah, did you get my point? Meaning, at least you don't know now, that's fine. But that's why we say it's worthy for us to look into if there is an answer. This is as a human.
This is my
That's
point.
that's our
This is
point.
what I'm
Yeah.
doing
So
with
to
my
start,
life.
that's good.
Yeah.
And that at least we initiate that point. At least.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about. For example, if you ask me about something, I will say to you, I don't know now about it, but I will look into it. That's the.
Yeah, but-
this is the spirit for us as a human being. We generally do. Yeah. Now the second thing, there are links for us to know these answers. For example,
I know it's a bit.
this is I don't know now what to do. Now.
What I'm saying that if it happens to in my life, like come to a point where I am like, oh my God, I know, I'm certain about something, then I would say like, because I will feel it, I will think that it's the thing, right? So as the same example I put before, like now I see all of you here.
Yeah.
So I know that you're here, and that's all I feel and I see and I can tell, you know.
Okay.
So I am saying, yeah, I know 100%. Yeah, 100%. You are all here.
And you're not dreaming, right? Are you certain you're not dreaming?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
certain I'm not dreaming. Because
How are you certain you're not dreaming? This could be all in your dreams.
Well, now all, like this, it comes through another. Like,
Yes.
completely
Let's take it to the
different
next level. How are you sure this is not in your dream? You're actually having this in your dream.
How am
You're
I
in a
sure
matrix.
that this is not in my dream?
Yeah.
Because, how can I explain that? Like, did you dream before?
No, this is all part of the dream. You're thinking we are having a discussion in Speaker's Corner, but that's actually all in your dreams. and you'll wake up soon.
Okay, if this is only my dreams and I will wake up soon, I will wait until I wake up and say, oh, it was a dream.
So how are you certain
in
now?
my dream now, it's not a dream, so it's not a
Now,
dream.
how do you know it's
Okay.
a dream? When we are in a dream, do you think that you're actually not in a dream, or you're in a dream all the time, every time?
In the dream,
In the dream.
I don't know, because I've never been like that conscious as
No,
now in a dream.
When you are dreaming,
It's a hypothetical question.
when you are dreaming,
Imagine the question.
do you think in your dream that it's not real, it's only a dream?
So when I'm
Sometimes,
dreaming, say again.
When you dream, sometimes, do you always, every time, think that this is only a dream? Or do you sometimes feel it's real?
Normally, I never dream like anything that real. There's always something. Yeah.
But
I
maybe
guess.
maybe you don't dream that way. But some people may dream
Yeah.
and they actually think this is real.
Yeah, but
Only
then
to wake up to
they
find out it was a
wake
dream.
up, They wake up and they
Right.
They will
say,
discover this.
like,
So
they
this
realize it's a
conversation,
dream. Yeah. So
it's
then
possible
when I
it could be a
wake
dream.
up And I realize that this will be a dream. I will say, I was in a dream, and I thought in the dream that
Yes.
that was really the reality.
Yeah, but imagine you haven't woken up yet, and you're still dreaming. How would you know?
Then I wouldn't know.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. To say you're 100% certain, to apply the level of skepticism that you're applying about your knowledge,
But
this
you
is
know,
the point.
You know what will happen? The truth is that I will go to sleep
Actually, she's married.
and I will wake up and I will remember all of you and being here, and I knew that that wasn't a dream because I can
Right. Okay,
and
fine.
I can like
at least.
and even
Fine.
if I take the contact of all of you, I will just like
Okay.
make
So,
like
seeing
wake
is
up,
believing.
Wake up and I will text
Yeah, yeah.
all of you.
So seeing is
Text me
believing,
back,
right?
Yeah, we were all here. So then it's a dream of everyone,
Fine.
you know.
So
like,
seeing-
because I never like talked. Like I never had a dream with someone, for example, and then go like, "Oh, do you remember that we met?" You know.
Anna is a hypothetical question.
Fine.
Do you
We
know-
don't have to
So,
over what you say.
because you see
Analyze
all of
it.
us here, this is real to you, right? You're certain. Yeah. So if something is provided to you like this in this nature where you can see yourself, this levels of evidence is certainty to you.
Say again, sorry.
When you see something, you're certain. You become certain by seeing.
When you see and hear and
Directly.
touch, you will be certain.
Yeah. So that's a level of certainty.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do you agree there are different levels of certainty?
There are different levels of certainty.
For example, you may not have witnessed a murder yourself, but circumstantial evidence might point to that yes, we are now certain to a level where there's minimal doubt left that this murder happened. How do we convict a murderer when you haven't witnessed it yourself?
By the way, our first language is not English, so
Can I maybe
we shouldn't use so many jargon. Yeah?
Okay.
Mashallah.
So you know what basically he says, yeah. Without jeopardizing you're saying. Basically he says there are different levels of certainty. Not all the time we have to
Yes and
see
no, yeah.
and touch and hear to give us the evidence that this thing happened. Sometimes with our analogy, we'll know something happens. For example, you came from your house today, for example here, or from your hotel room or whatever. If you go back and you find something which you didn't place on the, something which you didn't put in the room, on the bed, you found, for example, a phone, or you found something there, you will say definitely someone came and put it here.
I would say something happened.
Something happened.
That,
Made the phone
into that. Like it didn't
exactly.
feel like
It didn't appear like this. So, but you are certain that there is someone put it there. Certain.
I'm certain that something happened.
Something.
That this is there. I wouldn't say like, oh, someone put it there, or I wouldn't
at
be
least
sure
you,
about anything.
at least yeah.
Give another example,
So
easy
at least
example.
you will be certain.
Sorry, an example
I
is
would know that it's
she
not
found
magic
a
because
coffee
I
being
never
made
saw
on a table.
magic,
Coffee.
So if you find a coffee being made on a
it's not
table.
even part of my
Use an
reality,
example.
much.
Okay, if you find a coffee being made on the table, you went there, you went home,
Hot
you have only,
Say-
you have your for example your
Can you repeat? 'Cause
Okay,
I'm-
I will repeat.
Yeah.
For example, your hotel room or your room, for example, you closed it, no one entered that room except you, and there is a coffee machine there, for example.
Yeah.
And then you went to home now, and then you discovered there is a hot coffee on the table. Someone made a hot coffee on the table. You will say certainly someone has done it, has made a coffee on the table, yes?
Or this does appear from nowhere.
So you will say someone. So that's the point. So you are certain on this. That's why we say, but you didn't touch. One
I'm
second.
uncertain.
No, you are certain.
I'm certain, yeah.
You're certain.
Because there's evidence.
There's evidence, exactly.
I can see and touch. And
But you did not see the person
no,
who made
but
it.
I can. Yeah.
You did not see the person who has made it. You
I
didn't
know, but-
hear him. You didn't touch him
Yeah.
or her.
I know.
But if you saw,
Yeah, but there is like scientifically proved that there is only like some certain things that would be able to do this.
Exactly.
It's a human being probably. Because
Exactly.
I don't think there would be any other evidence, like scientific evidence in the world that a cat can come and make a coffee like that.
Exactly.
So then I will know
Exactly.
scientifically
Yes.
that some human
Good.
probably, because I can't think about
you not seen
anything else.
So you reach this level of certainty through your analogy, not from your senses. Exactly.
From science, from proof, from evidence.
What's called the analogy.
From
That's logic.
Yeah.
What you learned before.
You logically make that deduction.
Your logic, from your logic, let's say. You know what your logic is, yeah?
You didn't see it, you didn't observe it, but you know logically, no one.
From the science and the things that you study before, you implement it here. You say logically has to be someone has made it.
Yeah.
So now here, that's our point. We wanted to get you to this point. Now you say, okay.
It would be very cool if not, but
Definitely, it should be someone has done it. Definitely, that has to be.
Unless you
Which
believe
means,
in
which means
Yeah,
the coffee,
exactly, like,
which means the
magic.
coffee
I don't
beans.
know if I believe in
Listen,
magic or not.
so the coffee beans didn't jump from the trees and went all the way, all these areas,
No,
and they came
exactly.
and they roast themselves, and then they entered, they grained themselves, and then they entered the coffee machine. They made themselves, and then the water jumped in,
Yeah.
and then the coffee cup
like, I
came
don't know
from.
if, for example, God could do those things. It's very cool to do that. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll come to this point. So that's why we say to you. So what about?
yeah,
What about if the coffee that was made?
yeah.
Do you drink coffee with sugar or without sugar? Just for.
Do you drink coffee at all?
It depends.
What do you like it generally?
Generally,
Yeah.
with milk and a bit of sugar.
A bit of sugar. One spoon of sugar.
Sometimes I don't want to say that I always.
Then you came into that room. You found that coffee
Yeah.
was made exactly the way that you like.
Yeah.
Which means with the exactly amount of milk that you like. For example, I like
It's impossible because I
What the
never
hell?
measure anything that I just go like randomly.
Suppose-
one day it's like that, one day it's like that. I'm like,
Suppose-
ah,
so it's not
ah,
meaning-
it's nice.
You're very choosy. Yeah?
So they put, for example, one spoon of sugar exactly the way that you like, and they put it in the cup that you like.
But it's not any of that way because it's.
I just, is that,
What is it? For example, I like vanilla latte. I like latte with vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So if I came to the room where there is, and I found a latte with vanilla, the way that I like, that means there is someone who knows me, made it for me the way that I like.
No, or maybe it's coincidence that person.
It's possible,
because
also.
Possible,
You,
possible.
You are one like your taste. Millions of other people will have them.
Okay.
So it could be just.
That's good. That's good.
but if it's in his house, it can't.
What about? Okay. What about?
It
just be
can't-
someone
it
who
can't-
knows.
No, it can't.
Okay.
Be coincidence. It can't.
Okay, that's good. So what about if he wrote a letter and said to me, "It's for you,"
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's for you. It can be for
with your name, with your name.
with your name.
His
Yeah.
name, his date of
Okay,
birth.
then, yeah, probably,
That's his picture as well.
Probably,
his picture.
or if it's like massive coincidence that he just made up a name and exactly is your name, which it could be like 1% of like possibility.
I doubt there is someone like my name here, for example, here in the UK. But let's suppose someone with a full name like my name
And your date of birth?
my date of birth, my mother's maiden name, like everything that is there about me.
And how much you weigh?
How much I weigh, which no one knows, even my wife doesn't know.
He's arresting you.
and your
or he's
picture.
like-
I have a picture on.
His fingerprints on.
Listen.
Oh, yes.
Listen, and fingerprint. So,
oh my God, you should be like worried.
do you know my point? Do you know why all of these points?
I would be scared. I would be scared
Listen
because I was
to
like, who is it? Who is it?
Listen.
And then you'll believe.
So you believe? Listen. You believe?
that
We're
there's
coming to that
someone
part. Wait,
harassing
we're
Listen,
coming to that part.
listen.
Someone that like.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
coming-
So you believe the one who,
Pray then.
the one who made that coffee,
Yeah.
he knows me, and he knows how I like the coffee. He wrote my name. He knows me. He's a person, and he has the knowledge about me. That's why he did what he has done. Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you think this universe came into existence with this sophisticated information that we have out of nothing? That's my question.
I don't know.
You could
Thank
say,
very much.
you could say, I don't know, and you could say you don't want to know.
No.
Yeah. Now, when we say, I ask you,
I do want to know.
okay, if you don't want to know, now that's why I said to you.
I would like to know,
So,
but no one
so
knows.
definitely,
That's the point.
so since when you
want to
implement,
know, you don't want to know.
when you do implement,
I like if someone could like
Do you want
assure me
to-
100% and comes like and he proves me everything and
well-
whatever I ask and he takes me to the universe.
I am proving
like,
to you. I am proving to you. I am proving to you. Listen to that. I am proving to you that this universe, it's either with choices. Let's use these choices. Your own logic choices. This universe was always there for eternal, and it will be here. It will be there for eternal. It was always there, or this universe has a beginning. Yeah, and since it has a beginning, it either created itself by itself, or someone created it. So three choices.
Yeah, but those three choices you like you are making for you're making
Give me-
them for me, but
Yeah.
it could be like millions of other like
Good.
things that we don't.
That's why we are open for any other choices.
Give us other
Give us any other choices.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Other
That's what I'm saying. That's what I told him. Like,
Actually, I've
I'm
been
not
through this.
Creating,
Go-
creative enough, or I don't
Good.
know, like whatever enough, like clever enough, whatever, to say other options.
Yeah.
So I'm
Good.
just saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
okay.
I don't know.
Let's use the philosopher. They have studied this. The same applies to the coffee in the room. The same thing applies. So it's either that coffee made itself by itself, which is impossible. Since we are living in logic life, it doesn't work like this.
Exactly.
Or
Or
that.
maybe you're in a dream or something.
Or that coffee was there always for eternal, waiting for me to come and drink it, which is another impossible. Or that coffee was made by someone who knows, who has information about me. So that's why he made the coffee the way I like and wrote my name and all my details in it. So these are three choices. Now let's apply to the coffee. Is there any other choices that I don't know, we are not aware of?
The other two, the first one you said.
Yeah,
can be
so
eliminated.
that's why when we say
Someone made
in logic we eliminate
Yeah.
the impossible
Well, this is-
probability.
this is
The impossible ones.
In the example,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand it.
So the same
But
thing-
Not in the other. Like,
The same.
where
If you there is something in science, what applies to some of it, it could apply to the whole. Meaning, for example, if I discover that you have allergy in your skin on something, that means on your skin on something, that means you have allergy. You have allergy as a whole. You have allergy. So I don't need to examine every single cell in your body to know that you have allergy. I only need one or two cells, for example, to know about it. Yeah, that's what generally happens. So that's why when you do the test of allergy, they will do it on a certain point in the skin.
Yeah, but there are a lot of things about this test.
Yeah, I know, but they generally do that. So the point is, so if we apply the same logic to some part of this universe, to say, okay, these things doesn't exist, by itself. It has to come with someone to make them. This coffee in my room, there have to be someone to do it.
But the point is that we know about the coffee and we know everything about it, but we don't know about the universe.
Okay,
This is the difference.
but we
Like,
know.
we cannot put
Yeah,
the same example.
1 second. But we know that the coffee exists and we exist. Yes, the coffee exists and we exist. So we exist in this universe,
Yeah.
and this universe exists. That's what we know. Yes. Or do you doubt about your existence?
No, yeah.
So you believe that at least we both of us and everyone here,
But
I assume,
I don't
that
think
we agree. We
don't
agree.
reach any other answer.
No,
like
let alone the answers.
I will end up saying I don't know.
No problem. I don't know. I will say to you, I don't know if that's an initial.
Getting a bit
No
tired.
problem. If that's an initial answer to get to the answer, that's fine. But if you say I don't know just because you don't want to know, that's something else. There's no point. But okay, good. So that's why I said to you. So since this coffee existed, so in the room, in that particular place, my room has my name and all of these things, it tells me that there is someone who knows about me, the one who has done it. The same thing when we talk about the universe, this universe, us in this universe, being created the way that we are, being us, or existing in this universe, that means we are which is more sophisticated? Tell me, what is more complicated in terms of the coffee or us? us were more complicated, yeah? So which means to create a human being is much more complex, much more complicated than creating a coffee.
Yeah.
And not just that, this human being that is us, that we have as well, we're born with information inside us. We didn't come. We know that's again the scholars of sociology. In your DNA, you're born with some knowledge, with some information. Yeah. So you're already coded.
It's our structure. Like
Yeah.
we're made of.
Yeah. So which means there is already some information about us inside us when we were born. Do you get it?
This is another issue. Like
You
it's
recognize your mom and dad when you.
Meaning when you're born, as soon as the baby born,
Yeah,
born with.
I know, but I mean also everything comes with the information.
Yeah, that's my point. That the things around us comes with information, which means things didn't happen by sudden.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen by coincidence.
agree in that.
So there is someone or an entity that made it to happen. This entity that made it to happen has knowledge to place it inside these things that he has created or that he has made, and that's why he placed this knowledge inside.
But why
Meaning is not ignorant. The one who made the coffee about me or to me, he knows things about me. He's not ignorant. He's not random. He knows things about me. That's why he put the coffee for me exactly the way that I like. And not just that, he wrote my name, all my details, knowing all the details about me. Meaning he is not ignorant about me. He knows things about me. This is what we have agreed with our logic. Yes?
You know what happens? My mind, like I've been like too concentrated.
Yeah.
She's been here a long time.
I'm not quite able to follow really.
Yeah.
And to create like arguments and think properly.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a bit like mind like.
Okay, no problem.
collapse.
So
It's not that I would like to like continue conversation.
that's fine.
But I mean,
I will leave you. I will leave you with this for you to ponder and for you just to study. Yeah, I will leave you with that. First of all, when you say I don't know, it's fine, but you should try to know what is the things behind the things.
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So question the philosophers they came to these three questions to know this existence, this universe was literally created rather than to be came by coincidence. They asked this question: did this universe created itself by itself?
Yeah, but
which is impossible.
The thing is, this universe, like we only know about what we can, like our machines can
Measure
see,
and
you know.
see, yeah.
So we don't know actually what is. Who tells me that there is not another world where there's someone, you know, that typical Matrix thing that they say, some other like,
Created this universe. For example, there
creating
are.
or
By the way, there is one theory.
knows?
There is a theory called the multi-universes. There is a theory,
Exactly.
meaning this universe evolved from another universe, evolved from another. But there is, or even that theory, till just one point. There is one starting point.
Yeah,
That starting point.
I'm not denying
Yeah.
there's a starting point.
Okay, good. Awesome.
But that's the thing. We're getting into it. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not denying anything.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that starting
but
point.
nothing tells me exactly.
Yeah.
That it's this thing. So I just think that, for example, Muslims and when they or people who believes in God, I don't know where they get this like kind of 100% feeling and belief of this.
Yeah.
This is only what I'm saying. That I don't know how they get it.
And
It's fine. I'm saying
yeah.
it's fine and
Yeah.
it's completely.
And I'm answering you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm answering you. Yeah, I am answering you, telling you, we get this belief. We believe in the existence of God.
Because they just
Yeah.
read this
Yeah.
and then they
And
okay, it makes sense.
I will make.
If you have noticed, he hasn't mentioned the Quran yet.
I didn't mention the Quran. I'm just
So
talking about
only
your own
the
logic.
logic.
Just only your own logic before we come to the Quran.
To come to
With our own logic, when we discuss about the existence, things cannot be existed by itself, meaning in the existence, since the universe in the existence, cannot be existed by itself.
Think, for example, like about
Yeah.
all the like now we arrive to that point where I have to think.
Okay, good.
In you know like okay.
In
so
the
what if-
existence.
exactly. Like what about other universe? Blah blah. If like how this comes to also a possible
Yeah.
creator and you know.
They say this since the time of the Greek. Since the time of the Greek, they have discussed all of these things, and then they came to this conclusion. They said, when they were discussing all these philosophies, they say, okay, this universe existed by itself, which means created itself. They say it's impossible because it has to exist, to pre-exist before to exist, meaning it have to exist before to exist itself, which is impossible. Or it was there eternal. It doesn't happen because we know that the universe is going forward. That means there is a starting point. So these two things are eliminated. The only thing that lasts, that there have to be some entity that created it. This entity, they discussed it as well. I'm just getting this information for you.
The thing is that now, for example, like we are discussing it maybe in a philosophical way, but if there was like any scientist here that would know about all of this,
yes, so,
like telling you a lot of things, which in ways
the scientists, they say, one of the things they say the Big Bang Theory and all of these things.
That's why I'm saying that right now I don't have like enough information to like contrast your opinions.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
You remember what I told you earlier?
The Big Bang.
There's something that the scientists cannot know, which is about the immaterial world. So scientists are
metaphysics, basically.
They only actually confined to our naturalistic universe, the naturalistic world. Yes, so something they can observe, you can verify, that they can measure, and so on. So if you're going to talk about the metaphysical, which is not material, then this is something beyond the scope of science. So don't expect that science will give you those answers. They cannot give you answers about the origin of the universe. They can speculate about it, but they cannot give you answers what you're seeking, which is like firm, 100%, like the way you say. But so what I'm saying, that's why Sheikh Mohammed's giving you all the logical possibilities of how our universe could have existed. And we have to come to a certain conclusion based on our, based on our logic about basically deductive analysis, yes, deductive reasoning that we use. Then okay, we say maybe it's nothing, maybe it's by itself, maybe it's something else. So we eliminate those parts which are impossible, and we keep the part and say, okay, this is the only possibility, so let's go with that, rather than saying all our life, I don't know. See what I mean? But anyway, I think you seem to be exhausted. I think it's not fair to push more.
I'm like listening now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Are you here next week? Are you coming next week?
Yeah, sure. I think I will. I just discovered it today.
Okay. Where are you from, by the way? Where are you from?
Spain.
Where are you from? Spain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a friend of mine today, it's my birthday, and he told me, like, kind of as a present, I would suggest you to go to Hyde Park and go here. And I thought there would be a party or something prepared for me. And I was like so excited.
Well, you're famous now. You're famous on your birthday.
And I thought there would be like people, like, you know, like I don't know, he would have done something. He's now living in Spain, but I thought like maybe he, you know, talked with someone and something is there. And I come here and I just see all of this, and I'm like, cool, it's so cool. I will come next week.
And as well, go and check if you have any questions as well. There are many websites as well.
You know the possibilities we gave you. Find out other possibilities how the universe might have come.
And read the
Do some
Quran.
research and then come back, ask questions.
Yeah, sure.
Read the Quran. Quran is
We give her a copy. Yeah.
read the Quran and see. And we are here next week. If you are able to come here,
Do you come every week?
we come generally every week. If you are coming
One
here
of
next
us
week,
should be here.
Maybe.
So, yeah, what?
Really? Oh, sorry. Maybe for like next week I won't have my. No, but if I happen to have more questions, I'm like, oh, I should ask that. Then I will. Yeah, exactly.
Have lots of coffee before you come.
Try to with a term of coffee, of course. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inshallah, next.
Pray, work.
First of all, I wanted as well to say, I ask Allah to guide you to the right path, and may Allah Azza wa Jal, make it easy for you to understand Islam, because basically we are people, Muslims. You will find people who are amongst us, philosophers and scientists, people who are in different fields. I myself, I'm mathematicians. The brothers here, computer, scientists. They have all of these understand. So it made us to be Muslim, or the things that make sense to us to be Muslims, because Islam makes sense to us. You understand? Islam makes sense to us. It goes with our mind. It doesn't contradict the mind.
Yeah.
Which means we don't need to fight, our mind to say no, even though just ignore it. We don't have a blind faith. We have the faith in Allah and in Islam on a base of clarity and understanding. That's why it's the same thing. That's why it makes sense to many Europeans. They come to Islam because Islam makes sense. You got it. So hopefully that you have a good time that you read about the Quran.
Thanks for your time, actually.
Like, very
No
nice.
problem.
Hopefully you come back next time and
You
we
exhausted
explore
my
some more.
mind, but very great.
But
Quite the questions, if you wanna.
yeah. Anyway, no problem. Anyway, thank you so much.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. All right.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazak Allah Khair.
Don't know which is which.
So next time.